I didn't choose to become a soldier, you know.
Oh.
I said, no. In your application form, you put second choice. Second choice is still a choice. So are you going to take it or not? I was like, oh, second choice still a choice. Hello everyone. Today I have two special guests with me and they are Wei Soong and Adeline. Now I'll get them to do a quick introduction about themselves. Okay, how about Adeline?
Hi everyone, I'm Adeline. I'm a creative strategist from our grandfather's story. I'm also a content creator that talk about alopecia, which is an autoimmune disease that caused me to go bald sometimes or have patchy hair.
And Wei Soong?
Hi, I'm Wei Soong. I'm a national paraswimmer. I've been competing internationally for the last 11 years, and I also talk about transverse myelitis, which is a autoimmune condition I picked up when I was 2 years old. We don't know the cause, but it requires me to stay in a wheelchair for most of the time.
Okay, Adeline and Wei Soong, I'm going to get you to tell our audience something interesting that you do every day.
I wake up every day at 5 and I go for a swim at 5:30.
Oh, 5:30, I don't need to join him. He's also in the pool by 5:30.
That's his routine. That's his routine. That's what I got from him.
Okay.
But I would wake up and spend at least 30 minutes listening to music.
Listening to music, just to calm yourself down?
Just to calm myself down, to get ready for the day and laze in for a bit, before I embrace the day.
So yours is the kind of relaxing music to start the day? Or yours the one with the heavy metal? Just to get the adrenaline going?
Yes.
Oh,
I like to listen to Last Resort by Papa Roach.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
You also wake up at 5:30? No, you got in the pool by 5:30.
Well, yeah, I get in the pool by 5:30. I wake up about 4:55 or about 5 o'clock, then head down to the pool for about one and a half to 2 hours of swim. So it's 5:30 to about 7:30 sometimes. And then...
This is about the time that the rest of Singapore wakes up.
Yeah.
Right.
And then I'll come home for breakfast and I'll go to either gym or physio in the morning, come home to have lunch, take a nap, and then go for another practice in the afternoon sometimes.
Okay, Adeline, back to you.
Right.
You are doing something different and pretty interesting every day. What got you started on this journey? Why don't you go and take another job, like there's a bit more routine, turn up in the office, do something.
Well, I used to have a very routine job. Previously, I signed on as a regular.
You signed on as a regular?
In
Where?
the military, NS.
In the,
not NS, I mean,
in the SAF?
SF, yes.
What were you doing in the SAF?
I signed on because it was my childhood dream to be a soldier. So I volunteered with the army and decided that, you know what, I'm going to make this my career.
Really? So what did you do in the army?
So unfortunately, I didn't commission. I left when I was in OCS because I was diagnosed with a panic disorder.
Oh, I see. So you actually started OCS? Wow.
So just very briefly though, yeah.
Oh, I see. Okay. And then you left the service?
I left. But I did enjoy the routine though. I mean, we have to wake up at a certain timing and we have to run before we eat breakfast.
Okay.
So
that must be quite a big change, right? From the highly disciplined routine army life to a content creator's life.
Kind of.
How do you make the adjustment?
I guess it took me a while to make that adjustment because when I left the army, it was, being medically discharged and all of this. It took me a while to kind of find my pace again because
Were you
I
very
felt
sad to leave the army?
I was very sad actually. I was sad and I didn't want to admit it, but I was actually quite depressed at the time. So, having to learn how to cope with anxiety and panic attacks, right? I needed some help from not just my friends, my family, and I started seeking help. I went to therapy and that helped a lot. So during that period of time, right, I had the TikTok app. So I thought I was just posting to my friends because every morning you have that bird, no, I can do a better impression, I swear, wait. Okay, I cannot. But the Asian quail that you hear every morning, it flew to my house window, like just right by it. So I decided to film a video and I included myself in it and it went viral. So it was never my intention to become a content creator.
Oh, so it wasn't pre-planned that you wanted to take this path?
No, it was not.
Okay.
So people were curious about my hairstyle because I do have patches of hair. So people started asking me about my hair, and I figured, actually, I can use this platform to advocate for alopecia.
Okay.
So I
that's
started
nice.
replying, and,
Okay.
and eventually our grandfather's story found me, and I guess,
Then the rest is history.
yeah,
Okay,
that's
well
where I
done.
am right
So
now.
you started wanting to join the military,
Mm,
then you took an unexpected turn and you found a new calling.
kind of.
That's
Yeah.
good. How about Wei Soong? Have you always wanted to be a national swimmer?
Well, did I always want to be an athlete?
Mm,
I think it's, when you're a kid, you have a lot of dreams. So it's one of the dreams that I just kept doing every day. And it became its own pull, its own gravity.
Okay, but you tell us something else that you have done besides trying to be a national athlete. Because I remember you coming to help in my Meet the People session once. And you seem quite gung-ho to want to try various other things. What are some of the other things that you have tried?
Well, fundamentally, we only have one life. Well, as far as I know, we have one life. And I try to expand the things that I can experience and see what I like, see what gives back to me more than I give to it, for instance. So for that, in my life, it's always been art, trying to balance my life with art. So either writing my own book or directing a documentary, for instance, or starting a magazine, fashion magazine. These are things that I do to expand my sense of self. And it's always fantastic to finish a project and say, I'm not the way I was when I started. And there's no way I can go back to being the way I was. And I'm forever changed, and that's very special to me.
I thought there's something very unique about the experiences of both of you. Instead of focusing on what I may not be able to do, I could not do, you focus on what I can do, what I can contribute. I thought that's beautiful because, in life, sometimes we always end up in this situation whereby we keep comparing ourselves with others and say that, why do I be like him or her? But then we lose ourselves. So I thought that's a very inspiring story. Now I'm going to ask you another challenging question. Supposing both of you are not doing what you are doing now, and you can restart, say, go back 10, 15 years, right?
right.
What would you tell your younger self and say that, why don't you do this?
I guess I would just encourage my younger self, and I would not stop her from doing what she wants to do, which is to be a soldier and eventually leaving. I think I needed that lesson to say that, success is, there's no one way to define success. Because back when I was young, I always think that, once I commission, once I'm an officer, I will be successful, And it was a lesson that I needed, I feel, to look at things differently and to experience life differently. It's not always so black and white. Success is not black and white, right? So it's how we define it and how we, perceive it that makes the difference. Yeah, so
Wei Soong, what about yourself? 15 years younger Wei Soong. What will you tell the Wei Soong 15 years that's younger than you?
I really wouldn't be able to swim the way I do. I guess I would still tell them to do sports. I think sports has a fantastic benefit to just kids. Gaining the confidence, the knowledge of your own body, and being able to exercise your own power and agency when you're young, especially, is something very important. And I always champion that. When as a kid growing up, when you have a disability, your mind tends to age faster than your brain. Your body. Your brain has to, in a way, compensate for not being able to play sports as well, or for not being able to join your friends. And your mind sharpens to be able to be able to fit in, really. And if I was an athlete, I think I'd be trying to be a professor.
Professor.
To teach philosophy.
To teach philosophy. That's very specific. Not only just be a professor, but professor to teach philosophy. Why?
Well, when I went to university, I think, in general, when people go to university, they usually go there to find a new experience, to find out what they don't know, and to become something. You enter university, a young person, and you come out a doctor, you come out an engineer, and university transforms you in that way. For me, I went to university for a very specific purpose. It was to be able to write a paper I wanted to write when I was 19 years old. And I didn't have the skills but I needed one to express this idea, this philosophical idea I had. So that's why I went to university. That was my graduating thesis.
So you got to do that.
I got to do that.
Okay.
So I fulfilled what I went to university for. I was able to write that paper and get a good grade for it, and that's what I would have done. I think if I was in swimming, but it would mean that I would give up. I think a lot of the things I've learned from using my body and being physical out in the world, and I'm still a bit bittersweet on that. Because if you take a kid who's already very, mentally heavy,
Right.
and you put him into a field where he has to rely on that even more, I think my body would have wasted away.
That's a good point. I think from what both of you shared, see, sometimes life just throws us some curveballs. And you never really know where you are going, but we can always make the best of what life gives us. So, I mean, it sounds quite cliche, but it's actually not so easy to do. When people say that, if life gives you lemon, then you try to make lemonade out of it. I mean, it's a good philosophy, but it's always not so easy to do because I think we're just humans, and especially in Singapore where we tend to want to compare with other people. We always ask ourselves like, why can't I do this? Why can't I do that? Instead of saying that I can do this. And the other thought that I thought was quite wonderful is that I think I detect in both of you, it's not just what this job is going to give me, what this task is going to give me, or this particular path is going to give me, but you gave it all, and instead of finding meaning or just finding meaning, you are also giving meaning to everything that you do. And I thought that is a very good and powerful lesson in life.
Yes.
Okay, Adeline, was there some defining experience when you were young that led to you choosing that particular path that you have chosen?
When I was young, I love to read. I mean, Mr. Midnight, Singapore True Ghost Stories, those are like my go-to. But there is one particular book in my dad's cupboard. It's his NS booklet, like a magazine.
I see.
So I would flip through and I'll look at, the equipment and how the outfield looked like. And to me, that was pretty cool. So I guess slowly
so that
the interest
influenced
built
you.
on. Yeah, and seeing him going to reservists, I think that was always very cool. Because back then, the second or third generation, they had like fluff on the helmet.
Fluffy helmet.
Yeah, the fluffy helmet. So I was like, oh, that's so cool. Yeah,
I see.
so,
Oh, wait, so was there a defining moment in your growing up years that inspired you to do what you do?
For me, it was just swimming for fun and realizing that I
Who
enjoy
introduced you to swimming?
my parents.
Your parents.
My parents played a very important role in giving me the opportunity to see what I liked. And I always will be grateful for that. They put me into swimming as a form of rehabilitation to get me active, to burn off the energy that a young kid has. And realizing that I have this natural competitiveness, this natural drive to push past what I think is possible for myself, just made it really fun to swim. And I've never seen myself, for instance, as having a disability. And the fact that I could keep up, if not overtake, my fellow, squad members was something that I really enjoyed.
I see.
There's that fire, there's that hunger, there's that aggression to just push. And that was a very formative part of my life, just realizing that I'm a person who likes competing. I like pushing myself.
So was there some event that triggered you to have this competitive spirit?
As much as I don't like, as much as I like to say that we learn through life and nothing is sort of preloaded, I do think that is something I was born with. This natural curiosity to enjoy life.
I see.
And to want to experience things. I can't really pinpoint it to one particular moment. I just remember a lot of moments of feeling fun and expressing myself through my body. And that's very important for someone with a disability, to be able to express themselves in their body in a way to love the body, to figure it out.
I see.
Actually, I have a question though.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, I don't know why I raised my hand, but
It's okay, this is not the classroom.
okay, I don't know why I raised my hand. But have you always wanted to be a politician?
No, never.
No.
No, it's a real story. I actually wanted to be a librarian.
Mm.
Okay, I'm very logical. When I was young, I like to read books. But, when I was young, you either go to the library to borrow books, and we can't really afford to buy so many books, right? So then I figure out, okay, since I don't come from a very well-off family, it's very hard to go and buy books, right? So what can I do? What is the job that allows me to read books and get paid? Then I looked around, I thought, Tana, librarian.
Be a
You can
librarian.
read books, right? And yet get paid. And the icing on the cake was this. During my time, there are not many places that have aircon. And the library,
Have aircon.
even my school library did not have aircon.
Oh,
I was so inspired when I went to the Central Library. And the Central Library then was in the current SMU premises, the old Stamford Road Central Library. Now the NLB is, of course, at Victoria Street, right? So I thought, what a wonderful job, right? To go to and become a librarian where you get to read books, you get paid, and you stay in an aircon room. But then, just like your life threw me a curveball, because I wasn't from a very well-off family, so I went to apply for a scholarship. So, then there were 2 blanks on the scholarship, in the scholarship form. So I put open scholarship because I thought that would allow me to go to the library.
right.
Then there was a second blank. I wasn't sure what to fill up. Then I remember what my teacher told me. He said that, in any exam, never leave a blank. Always put in something. You will just get some marks.
Right.
So I went around and asked my friends. Maybe they sabo me. And I said, so what other scholarships are there available? So they told me SAF.
How many scholarships?
So I just put SAF without any clue.
Okay.
Then I went for the interview. Then they asked me. No, in fact, they didn't ask me. They said, we're going to send you to SAF. Now, blood drained from my face. I was like, you sure you got the correct guy? I could barely pass my BMT. I couldn't run fast enough, couldn't pass my IPPT, couldn't shoot straight enough to get my marksman. I was like, you sure you got the correct guy? You sure you didn't ask the other friend whose index number is one from me?
Okay.
I think he's the one that joined NCC LAN, And I said, but I didn't choose to become a soldier,
Oh.
I say, no. In your application form, you put second choice. Second choice is still a choice. So are you going to take it or not? I was like, oh, second choice still a choice. So that's how I ended up in the military. So it wasn't by great
Right.
inspiration or aspiration. It just turned out.
You didn't want to leave a blank.
I didn't want to leave a blank. And in that era, then it also took me some time to learn this life lesson. It's not just about finding meaning, right? Then when you go into the military, then you realize, just as I believe, you find out that actually there are many people in the military. They come from all walks of life. Some of them willingly, some of them unwillingly. Then the question is, how do you bring everybody together? Just like we were chatting just now with Wei Soong. Everybody has great ideas. Everybody have diverse aspirations of what they want to do. But the power of Singapore is not the individual, but the team. How do we bring people with different persuasions, different aspirations, different skill sets, all to come together? So I think that is still very much in our line of work now, whether I'm a soldier or I'm a minister. That you have to bring people from different backgrounds, persuasions, perspective together, and use that diversity of strength to create something new and better for everyone. So that I found meaningful. Yeah. So there's something common in the work that both of you do. You are a content creator, so you're trying to get people interested in content, get them to explore their vista. So beyond your swimming career, you wanted to be a kind of a philosophy professor, right? And part of that must be that you want to spark some curiosity and deeper thinking. What do you think you will recommend to, say, MOE, to get our people to be using such abilities much more, to read, think, perceive, and more deeply? Because I think one of the challenges that we have in today's world is that people tend to criticize us and say that the attention span of the younger people are much shorter. People don't think as deeply, or they're not so reflective of what they even consume. So if this is the challenge, from the way you do your content creation to the way that you do your art and philosophy, how do you think we can do better as a society? What are some of the things that we can do?
Do we still have reading time during school assembly?
Yes.
We
So
still have that?
many schools today,
Okay.
after the so-called, or rather before the school starts, they will have this silent reading period.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think that's important. And like how we have been evolving, I think children nowadays are a bit more in touch with their emotions. I think mental health has been a very big thing recently. I think getting to understand a child and teaching them how to express what they are feeling and what they're thinking would help in the entire reflection of things moving forward.
So again, to
be more in touch with their
be more
emotions,
in touch with their own emotions and
be more
through that
intentional.
anger,
Yeah.
get them to be a bit more reflective. So what would be your suggestion?
Well, I'm a bit terrible because I am a bit old school.
Old school.
I do believe it's in my temperament to be able to handle a lot of pressure, to be able to push through what I think is possible. So my recommendation would be throwing kids into the deep end, essentially, and having faith in the ability of these kids to survive and to comprehend the information that they're being exposed to. I think it's a question of exposure. And what are they being exposed to? For instance, the highest peaks of literature. I don't believe in catering downwards. I think people have an innate ability to adapt and to rise above and to meet the standards that are set towards them.
Just now you shared that you slept at you try your best to sleep at 10, right? Do you not doom scroll? Because like we do have this habit of like
I doom scroll all the time.
Yeah, how do you sleep at 10? I mean
I just doom scroll throughout the day.
okay. So
Hey,
is
see,
this why
even that is the discipline, you know?
Right. Okay. So is this why you ask what are the kids consuming nowadays? Because you are quite aware about the content that's out there.
Well, I think it's more a personal bias because not only do people read less, but the things people seem to be reading tend to be they tend to be the things that end up in the bargain bin at the end of the day. I think there is so much more potential to reading, and that was something that was prized just a few decades ago. And now with the advent of social media and everything, the recommendations are just everywhere. We used to have people who were authorities on what is good taste, and so on. And while there are problematic things with that kind of authority figure and point of view, there are still benefits to having a curated and very meaningful list of things to read.
Yeah.
To what many might seem that you're a successful person, right? You're a minister, you got the SF scholarship, and were there any defining moments for you or failures that you have faced that you would like to share with us?
Well, I learned one thing from my career in the military and now in the ministries. A lot of time people like to ask, Minister, you are successful, right? They made it as if it's a statement. Then they say that, but I always ask them, how do you define success? Do you define success from your material wealth? Do you define success by your own personal upbringing of what you are able to experience, or do you define success by what you are able to contribute? It's quite different. Material success is one, your personal achievements is another, but if you define success by your contribution, then it's quite different. And I think amongst the three, the most powerful is you define success by your contributions rather than just your achievements. Your achievements must be a means to an end. But if you say that you define success by contribution, then sometimes I think we need to take a step back and don't take ourselves too seriously and don't be too harsh on ourselves. Because when you say contribution, you never really know whether you have contributed until many years later. And I'll share with you a couple of stories from my days in the military. I used to have a perm sec that taught us this. It says that, in the military, if you build up a capability, you exercise it, you hone it, you never have to use it, and you retire it, and nobody knew, that is success. So we all thought, wow, what kind of logic is this? But actually there's a deep thinking. You have achieved your mission, and your success is not whether the society here and now affirms you, but you have this deep conviction and perhaps deep understanding that what you have done have made a positive impact, even if not many people cheer you on and know this. Thank you, Adeline and Wei Soong. Those are such inspiring stories. I hope that many of our viewers will be inspired after listening to your story and find their own path to success. Bye, everyone.
Bye.